gas station. Yep. Radha. It's so cute. Our oldest boy, Alexander, comes. He fights wildfires, and then he comes back for a couple of days, and then he's called back out again. And so he just came back, and he said something that was really cool. Just kind of said it in passing. That he said, "Oh," he came upstairs from his room down in the basement. And said, "This is such a fun house. Good smells, food cooking, conversations, great conversations. Talk about God, watch Christian shows, and." But it was just such a cool thing to hear, because you want a house, you want a good house vibe, and we don't do a lot. We don't hardly do anything. We don't do fancy stuff. We don't have spare money to do much of anything, and just survive. But we were making tacos, and that's a standard favorite. We make really good tacos. And then usually we have a few Christian shows that are locally produced that we like to watch, and he's really gotten into that. So we'll watch those shows in the evenings, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 of them before bedtime, and then we just have a lot of conversations about stuff that's going on in the world, and Christian topics. Philosophical, religious, doctrinal type things. And anyway, it was just a cool thing to hear. And so I'm just thinking, something to think about as you're in this busy life and all the pressures and things that are going on. Is your home a haven, a safe haven, somewhere that your children enjoy being at, hanging out? Thankfully, ours do, and we don't fight, we don't have dramas, and God-centered. I mean, that really is a key. And he was excited because he got to go to church. When he comes back, he's always hoping that he's able to go to church with us, and we go and worship, and we have our little routines, and all of that. Anyway, it was just cool, and not to boast or anything like that, but just kind of as a reality check on anybody that has homes and family and children. Is your house such a place that your children would say, that we have such a fun house, a good house? That's what you would want to hear. In the end, it's those little things that matter, not the money, the toys, the boats and vacations and all of that stuff. I mean, those are fun, but a lot of people do that, and they have miserable home life. And so anyway, it was cool. One other thing I was thinking about is how I don't know how common this is, but one thing that happens in our home is with our boys, and these are, when I say our boys, I mean these are men. These are men that are 22, 26, 28, but 2 of them have disabilities, and because of the economy and just the way things are right now, I would say we're fortunate that they're all in our home. Never been a big, never thought this idea that you've got to kick kick your kids out, for some reason that they reach a certain age. Um, Thankfully, we all get along, and the times are such that it's rough. And I know that a great majority of kids have had to go back home, young adults, thanks to the communist takeover of our country. It's hard to make a living out there. So anyway, and then I've always thought it's actually, I think, more natural and has been more the case through history that children do live at home, and that families live together several generations, a few generations even. I think that's actually more normal and the way that it ought to be, and it's actually an aberration, that this idea that you kick your kids out and then you go do what you want to do, and now we can be selfish, and I don't know. I just don't think I'm more of an old world kind of guy, and right now we've got 3 of our 4 boys at home, and it's not a problem. They all pitch in, and it works out. But anyway, one thing that has just happens in our family is that saying I love you, and them saying I love you, and we say I love you, and you've got these guys going off to bed at night, and they usually sign it because one of my boys is deaf, so we've all gotten in the habit of signing I love you. And I would suggest that as a tip, because sometimes it might get a little too much to constantly be saying I love you too, I love you too. Although we probably do that half a dozen or more times a day. Just it's a habit, we just let each other know that. You never know when the last time you're going to see someone is, and it's always great if the last thing you said was that you loved them. And I've heard that a lot from people that didn't say that when they, something happened or whatever. And then if nothing happens, hey, just throughout a day, it's just nice to know you're loved, and that you love people and they love you. But this signing thing, signing I love you, is kind of cool, because then sometimes you can just, if you're not necessarily wanting to verbalize it, you can just sign it. And I just realized I'm lost. Anyway, you can. What's funny is when you're in the habit of signing I love you, you find yourself when you're leaving 7-Eleven or talking to somebody that's a stranger or something, and you're saying, hey, we'll see you later, accidentally signing I love you, which again I think is kind of a cool accident to have happen to strangers and people in general, when you're just so used to signing I love you. But anyway, that's something that is very just common in our house, is our boys telling us they love us and us telling we love them constantly. And another thing is apologies. If someone's in a bad mood or says something or is just a little on edge, I've just marveled that my sons have all gotten the habit of apologizing, and we do as well. I'm probably the worst. Well, not probably. I'm the worst of. Of course, I'm always right, so I don't have to apologize quite as often. No. But my wife, I think, has led the charge on that. But teaching, making it a habit to just quickly coming back and saying, hey, sorry, I was kind of acting this way, that way. I apologize. And man, just in a Christian fashion, it's over. It's just the thing is done, and that's a great habit to have in the family. Keeps things cool. Keeps things smooth. Saying I love you and I'm sorry easily, quickly, on a regular basis, if necessary. The Now, I may just run out of the time here. This little camera gives me about 12 minutes, and I don't know when that ends. So, could be an abrupt ending. But while I'm at it, with father knows best, father talk, family talk, home life. This one just popped into my head, and maybe someone out there needs to hear it. Could be helpful. But one other thing we've always done is been attentive to. Well, let's see. Well, it's just come up that we've noticed. We've been attentive to things that people, children, anybody in the family, but might be allergic to. And I use the word allergic loosely, but for instance, there's several people in our family that cannot eat chocolate. And with my wife, I noticed it in her when we first got married. Migraines and total mood change, total personality change. Would turn into a she-devil. But migraines, and just wiped her out, and I noticed the linkage. And she stopped eating chocolate, and that took care of those. I mean, she still gets an occasional migraine, but guaranteed if she eats chocolate and certain types of chocolate, she's going to be wiped out. Alexander, same way. And then chocolate affects mood-wise a couple of my other boys. And I just wonder sometimes how many people might be having extra problems with teenagers or children acting up. I think I lost time. Anyway, chocolate, look out. See if you see it.